welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Good morning, Los Angeles.
Good morning, broads. Hi, Becca.
Broads.
You're back, Queen. I missed you. You know, I love my hubs, and he's a great to have a moment to fill in, but it's just, you know, it just doesn't feel right when.
Wow. I'm going to be completely straight with you. I am so glad out of all episodes to miss, this is the one I missed. I didn't give a shit about this episode.
It was now, okay, so Evan on one hand was watching it and he was like living because he loves justice. So he's like, get rid of them. And he was just so into it. But it's hit a certain point where when all of a sudden the MJ Jessenia fight started and it was like, why are you doing this to Jessenia?
We have no build-up. We have no build-up. We have no foreplay.
Exactly. There's no. It just felt so manufactured to me. I'm like, can you just leave Jessenia alone and let MJ just fume by herself? The petty drama needs to be done. I'm ready to
I like Jessenia and like she's cool and whatever. It's just fucking stupid. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No. It's.
I miss Victoria already.
See, I was done. Like, I was very done.
When she said, I never will date another Matt again, I was dying.
It was a line.
I miss her lines. I feel like there's no, she's horrible. She's horrible. I was just texting someone this day. She's awful. But
terrible.
There's no but at the same time, but the reason she's funny to me, I'm not like idolizing her. The reason she's funny to me is because she so lacks self-awareness about what a bad person she is. And when she's like, I spread nothing but love and light in the house, I'm just like, this is so funny.
When she was talking about delivering joy, like she brings joy to people, the level, I fell over in my seat. Like I couldn't, it was too much. I couldn't process it.
See, yeah, when people are like, what do you mean you love her? I'm like, that's what I mean. Like that is so funny to me.
And between her talking about her bringing her, like that she brings joy, and then MJ being like, I'm all about peace and harmony. I'm like, who are these people?
You guys, I will say one thing definitively about both of you. You have zero self-awareness, clearly.
My goodness. I mean.
Which, by the way, people have been asking about like producer plants and stuff. I got a ton of DMs today when I posted about both MJ and Victoria. People being like, I know them from XYZ, like tons of messages, and everyone's like, they're exact. Yeah, and they're yeah. I should talk about this stuff more on Instagram because I was getting tea left and right from people knowing these people directly, like from their hometown or their. Oh yeah, one girl, her best friend was roommates with Victoria. Like another girl went to high school with MJ. Yeah, and everyone said about both of them they are like exactly like on the show.
So the roommate of Victoria said that's just who Victoria is.
Yeah, that's who she is. She just like that. I don't know about like the mean part. I think just like her being ridiculous. Like,
can you imagine living with Victoria?
Well, for one thing, I would not allow her giant Trump flag in the dining room. I'll say that much, but
girl.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. But she wouldn't make it past the roommate interview for me, to be honest. I'd be scared.
I just have this image and I can't get it out of my head that Victoria is a big cigarette smoker. I don't know what it is. She just gives off that vibe.
No, she's the girl that would get drunk and then would smoke cigarettes inside your house.
That's what I was gonna say. I pictured her literally coming, like showing up for a roommate interview in my apartment and like just lighting up a cigarette in my place and me being
before
like,
she even get
like for like 3 words and like, hi, my name's Victoria, and just start smoking, and I'm like, you know, I'm a little bit like, excuse me, like we'll say Jessica 4 years ago, who was a more demure. I'd be like, do you mind not maybe smoking inside? And she's just like, no, this is what I fucking do. And then I just picture myself letting her trample me and become my roommate. And then there's like those like stalactite things from like smoking inside hanging from my home. And I've just like developed.
What are you talking about? Is that a thing?
Yeah. When people smoke inside like a closed space for too long.
Talking in the mic. I keep going like this, leaning forward and missing the mic. Stalactites?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Ew, I have to look this up. How gross.
Yeah, no, it's if someone stays in like a small apartment and is smoking like with the windows rolled up over years and years, things like develop on the ceilings.
Stop.
Am I making that up? No.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I don't believe that this is a thing.
Look up like smoker ceiling. Was this just from like some like old horror movie that I watched when I was little and I just convinced myself that it was real?
I looked up cigarette smoke stalactite and it just showed stalactites that look like cigarette smoke.
Broads, let me know. Is this
stains. Stains.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking, and my brain just pictured like actual like stalactites coming from like Victoria, even though who knows if she smokes cigarettes. Just my
that it just still made my stomach turn anyway. But
yeah,
ew. Yeah, like sometimes it'll get like little like dots of cigarette smoke. I don't even know. Okay, enough of that.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Let me see if I have any other thoughts on the episode real quick. Victoria,
Oh, this is what I wanted to ask from you.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I know you don't like Kit, but did you despise her as much as you thought you would during the one-on-one?
Now I'm completely apathetic to her. I think she's one of the most boring people I've ever seen on TV.
Okay. Apathetic is the word. I didn't know if you and I were going to get into like a whole thing about this, because I watched it and I was preparing mind, body, and soul to be like, oh, Kit's like, she's my least favorite now, And I don't know if it's because of all the trauma from Queen Victoria and Anna and MJ and all this. So she seems like so low key, but like I just felt like it was just boring. So I didn't have that like heat that I thought I was going to.
She's just boring. Well, I did post this on my Instagram and I still stand by it, where it was like, she's like, no, I just want a simple life. And I'm like, oh, okay, that like makes a lot of sense coming from you. You definitely seem like the type of person to romanticize like being poor.
Definitely, yes.
I'm like, honey, you actually showed me one of her stories where she's like posting, like, it was like a picture of her in her sweatshirts and she was like trying to be funny, being like the best style on the season or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
quoting people.
Yeah.
And like in the background, it's like the fucking Greek Parthenon in the background of whatever home she's in. I'm like, simple life. You're one of those people who probably saves van life photos on Pinterest, and then like if you actually ever had to live in a van, there would be like serious issues.
Yes. I will say, when she was talking about that why she's really guarded, my brain went, oh, that makes sense to me though. Like when you do grow up in the spotlight, she was one of the few, you know, I always get a little like, when any contestant on the show always leads with like, I'm super guarded, because I'm like, but you auditioned for a reality television show with cameras in your face and went through like 1,000 interviews. So obviously like you're not that guarded. Yeah. But when Kit said I'm guarded, I'm like, okay, I believe this, because I picture your mother being very strict. You grew up in like a, don't let them see you do that, kitten. They probably call her Kitten. Kitten. You're using the wrong fork, Kitten. That's the dessert fork.
I'm doing this right now. You look like a scary version of Ember. Which, by the way, I have to say real quick, Broads, Ember sent a happy birthday video to Ruth where she pretended to be a kitty, and Ruth begged me to leave my phone on the couch, and every time it would just go to the end of the video, you know how the play thing pops up in the text? Ruth was just sitting there like this. And it was just hitting play again and again, literally so 7 times.
Oh,
she
that
was
makes
like,
me so happy.
More? And I was just playing it. I don't know if it's because we don't let her watch TV enough or what, but she loved Ember's cat impression.
I was like, Ember, Ruth loves kittens. And she was like, I will be a cat.
She said her name was like Tipsy or something. You're like, what's your cat name? And she's like, Tipsy or something.
Yeah,
Pitsy.
and I was like, ooh.
I don't know. Fitzy?
Yeah, it was something like that, but it was a little...
it was Cheatsy. She said Cheatsy.
Yeah, Cheeksy. I'm like, the names the girl comes up with.
Cheeksy.
The name she comes up with always very original. It's never just like cat. It's just like Lady Cheekerson Whiskertons, and you're like, oh wow, it's not bad actually.
And then you said, what's Ruth's cat name? She goes, Cheeksy too. And you're like, okay, you're both named Cheeksy. Wow, popular name.
I heard in the kitten community that it's a very popular name.
Okay, anyway, back to you were saying Kit being guarded, and you said I could see that.
Yeah, so that I will say when I was watching it, I was like, okay, I'm just not very excited by this, but I did believe her when she said she was guarded. Because
I
it's
can say
also
that
like when
too,
you're
but-
loaded, like you probably has so much money and her mom's famous that it's probably, people probably use her when it's like as far as friendship goes, like they act like they like her, but it's because they want to get into like Cynthia Rowley's parties. So
Into her closet.
yeah, exactly. Just like you have a showroom in your house, correct?
Yeah, that makes sense. But then also I'm like, okay, you're going on The Bachelor literally just though for more exposure.
Yes, I would imagine. But she didn't say I don't want to be famous. She said I'm guarded.
Okay.
So
that's
it's
fair.
like,
okay,
all right.
that is a good point. That is a good point. My only other qualms are, oh, I'm just like really tired of making boring white girls like famous. And I feel like it's not her fault that she's a boring white girl, but she is just one of those people where I'm like, to the public, look, when I say like, oh, you have nothing to offer the public, I'm not saying that's a very broad statement. I'm not actually going to say that at all. But my point being, like, on a public platform, my question to her is like, on a public platform, like, what do you have to offer? Well, I guess cool outfits. I guess that's fair. But like, I feel like the black girls on the show who have cool outfits like wouldn't get as many followers. And I'm just like kind of over it, to be honest.
I just would like to actually just stop centering when they talk about a season that they are saying, okay, we have our first Black Bachelor, we're going to be more diverse in our casting, and yet here we are, and the only people that we're getting to know is like white girl drama. And I'm sorry, but there's a few people, like, I wanted to get to know Lauren, who is not a corporate lawyer, but like some big time lawyer who has all these. I'm like, I want to get to know.
I wanted to see more of Chelsea.
I'd love to know more about Chelsea. Okay, like, I mean, it's just. I don't know. I felt like Mari could have had a cool storyline. She got cut. I'm curious about Mari. There was like fun drama there.
I don't even know who Mari is. See, it's just like, I couldn't even remember Piper's name last night because I've seen her on a total of like, 3 random scenes over the past however many weeks.
Piper is an obsession for me. I feel like I'm really hoping Piper is going to go far. I like Piper a lot.
Okay. I like Hannah actually a lot more than I thought I would.
Hannah?
Is that her name? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what's her name? The one he went on the date with last week? Then one of the new girls?
Oh, Michelle.
Oh, Michelle. Similar name to Hannah.
I love Michelle. And
Michelle's cool.
Also, we talked about it in the last episode, but Michelle joined Instagram like 6 months ago.
Oh, I saw that. All hail Michelle.
Michelle!
Hannah. All hail Hannah. The only thing... I mean, I you know what? I want to see more of Abigail, and in a normal season, we probably would have seen so much more of all of these girls, and they had to bring in... It's just, so stupid. I'm just over it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I will say, though, I think Matt's handling it great. I said this on my Instagram today.
I was extremely impressed. I was very grateful that, I shouldn't even say impressed. I was grateful that he right away was like, heard what was going on, and it was like, nope. And there was no, and I said this last episode, but I loved that he didn't bring Anna and Brittany into a room and have to have Brittany deal with that and have like a confrontation. I liked that he was just like, bye, Anna.
Oh my God, he handled the Anna situation. I forgot because it was so early in the episode. He handled that situation so well. We were like, Gray and I were like, bye, bitch. Bye-bye.
10 out of 10.
And he handled the conversation with Brittany so well.
Yes, he did.
Totally.
He did. That's what I was saying. It was like, there was nothing about his conversation either that was lending at all to any sort of like stigmatizing of sex work.
No, actually, I was like, had a listening ear out for that too. And I noticed that also. He wasn't like saying like, that's the worst thing you could say about anyone. He was just like acknowledging that it could like, potentially be harmful with her life, with her personal life. Like, yeah.
And he said, like, and he made a comment where he said the rumors, like, we need to address this because it's a rumor and it's a lie. Like, yeah, he wasn't stigmatizing it at all. Like, so I was like, you know what? I was happy.
He looks good. Let's say that. He looks like he's handling everything great.
Now, speaking of...
Wait, also, we never saw Anna's apology, right?
Oh, you mean like when she apologized to Britney?
Yeah.
Her supposed apology to Britney?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about on the show?
Yeah. Did we see it?
So
did I miss it?
No, because it was like coupled in with her basically just telling Britney, oh, by the way, everyone in the house knows this.
Oh.
That was the apology moment, was she was sitting Britney down to be like, so sorry.
Oh,
but
wait, no. Bitch, I remember that conversation. I thought that she legit went and yeah, basically I didn't realize that was the conversation that she was referencing.
No. That was the conversation. I'm pretty sure that was the conversation she was referencing. God. Because he talked to Britney first.
That's just ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I was like thinking that, I don't know. I thought that like Anna in private sat her down and was like, I am so sorry. Like whatever, like the day before or something.
Maybe.
Nope.
But I don't think so, because the conversation that Britney seemed like she was referencing was...
that brief interaction?
Yeah. It harkened back to some of the statements that she said in that.
That's ridiculous. Wow. Bye, Anna.
Bye.
We don't miss you.
Unbelievable.
Okay, anyway, before we dive in, we're going to get into tea and drama.
There's a lot, and we can, like, right after this, we can talk about some that's actually supposedly going to be happening in next week's episode, and I am quaking. I am absolutely quaking. But before we get into that, broads, here's the thing. Out of all the holidays in the year, the one that I get the most excited about every year is Valentine's Day. Okay, fine. You can come for me. Other than Christmas, it's Valentine's Day. You might think it's cheesy, but I love love. All right, I just love love.
Me too.
And while jewelry is nice, and I'll never say no to a box of chocolates, what gets me the most excited is, of course, sentimental gifts. Sentimental gifts for my husband and my loved ones. It's our little tradition that I look forward to every year. And this year, I'm using FrameBridge to help me put together the perfect frame collection of photos from our entire relationship.
Wow. Evan is going to love that. He's also going to kind of hate that, because I know he hates his hair in many of these photos.
He's going to hate it so much, but he's also going to adore it. He'll cry for many reasons. He'll cry out of joy and also cry out of anger.
Well, okay, I used FrameBridge to actually get Gray multiple presents for Christmas.
Yes.
I framed a bunch of his old posters that he had never gotten around framing. Anyway, they make it so easy to give the people in your life something super special. I love FrameBridge. All you have to do is go to framebridge.com. You upload your photos, or if you don't want to do that, they send you a package. That's what I did. So you can safely mail in all of your physical photos or posters or art or whatever. And then you'll have the option to preview your item online in various framings. And you even get free recommendations from their expert team of designers. They have so many cool frames to choose from. I love FrameBridge.
So it's so good, honestly. And it's so helpful to have those designers on hand. I really didn't realize how niche framing photos is, but it's actually way more complex than I had anticipated. And after you choose your frames, the team at FrameBridge will get to work and deliver your finished piece directly to your door. And get this, their prices start at just $39 and all the shipping is free. If you went to a framing store, you'd be looking at prices in the hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah, I've gotten lots of stuff professionally framed, and it's very expensive.
It's very pricey.
And FrameBridge actually does. Just the other day, I got a quote for like $500 for this poster. FrameBridge is doing it for way less of the price, so I'm going to FrameBridge instead. Also, I don't have to leave my house.
Yes. Another benefit, please.
We love it. Okay. Anyway, I can't sing their praises enough. I'm really obsessed with FrameBridge right now. So frame your photos or give the perfect Valentine's Day gift when you go to framebridge.com and use promo code Chatty to save an additional 15% off your order. That is FrameBridge. FrameBridge.
Okay, Broads. Well, some of my best memories growing up and also now with my own family are the times we spend eating dinner together, no matter how busy we all get. It's just nice to have a time at the end of every day when we can just be together. I don't, however, particularly enjoy trying to come up with creative new recipes for dinner every night. I'm good for like 4 different meals. But after that, I always seem to run out of ideas, which is why I am obsessed with HelloFresh. They keep our family dinners delicious, different, and stress-free no matter matter what day of the week it is.
Girl, I just made a HelloFresh meal for dinner tonight. These ads are just like speaking to my life.
Honestly, straight to your soul today, honey.
Straight to my soul. We had like the most amazing spinach ravioli thing with like bell peppers and tomatoes and whatnot.
Yum.
So good. Anyway, if you listen to us regularly, you've probably heard us talk about one of our other favorite meal delivery kits, Green Chef. But Green Chef is actually now owned by HelloFresh. So we don't play favorites, honey. Both services offer amazing recipes, and I love switching between the two to mix it up. That is true. I am literally about to start getting Green Chef also. Anyway. With HelloFresh, you get pre-portioned ingredients and recipe instructions delivered right to your door every week. They offer a huge range of recipes. You've got like 23 options per week with a range of flavors, cuisines, and ingredients, and everything is ready in a fraction of the time dinner usually takes because half of the work is already done for you. It's simple.
Plus, you'll never overbuy ingredients again because they come pre-portioned, which is better for the environment and better for your wallet, okay? I love that HelloFresh gives me time back instead of stressing about what to make or figure out if, my husband can sneak out to the grocery store. I can focus on what's really important, like enjoying a meal with my family.
Go to HelloFresh.com/10chatty for 10 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/10chatty and use code 10chatty for 10 free meals, including free shipping. It's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, baby.
Okay, well, can I just tell you that Matt James dropped some tea on a podcast recently that makes me scratch my head about what next week will hold. And I don't know if he's just like teasing it to try to make it sound wilder than it is.
What? I haven't heard anything about this.
Okay, so first, in an interview with Rachel Lindsay for Extra, he made some comment about how, Tyler Cameron's showing up in next week's episode. But of course, Tyler is finally here.
Yeah.
And Tyler, apparently he said that something happens to Tyler that's like very, Tyler shows up and he has an unexpected journey. Like he shows up and it's unexpected. And Rachel goes, are you telling me that we're going to have a season with another Bachelor going on? And he's like, I don't know. You're going to have to tune in to find out. And I'm like, all right.
Is some girl going to leave for him?
Well, then he went on Chicks in the Office podcast and he said that someone falls for Tyler. And he used the term falls for Tyler. So part of me goes, Matt,
Is this a play on words?
Does someone literally fall in front of Tyler and am I going to rage out when when all of a sudden
I foresee that.
But then the hosts were like, wait, are you saying, because they had asked him, they were like, so were you concerned that if Tyler shows up that maybe one of the women or a few of the women might all of a sudden be bigger fans of Tyler and want to be dating Tyler? Which I'm like, first of all, it's kind of rude.
I mean, one of the new girls could be like, I thought Tyler was going to be the Bachelor, when I auditioned last year or some shit.
And also, they are the bestie of besties. So it's I feel like pretty much everyone...
share everything.
Yeah, I feel like pretty much everyone has a crush on both of them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I like Matt, I like Tyler, love them both. But he made it then sound right after he goes, well, I'm going to let you guys know this because you guys are my faves. It gets pretty wild because, someone falls for Tyler and it's a thing.
Is this season going to be 16 episodes long? What the fuck?
I don't know. But
how many women are still there? 20?
And Heather's showing up next week.
And Sarah's going to show back up?
I still believe it in my heart and soul.
She's coming back. She's coming back.
And if we...
we have to make her come back. She's coming back.
We're making some calls. It's just Sarah, honey, where are you at?
You cannot leave me hanging and making me look like an idiot, Sarah. Get your ass back in the game.
Well, she'll be in paradise for sure. Due to her many...
Yeah, I know, but I made some strong... we made some strong statements about her coming back.
I know, but we also got some intense DMs that we decided not to share because we didn't have hard facts, but it made us assume things, you know what I mean?
Did you know that, how there was rumors going around about her and G-Eazy? Did you know there's, a photo of freaking Anna with G-Eazy, too?
Yeah. G-Eazy is loving the women of this season.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, that though definitely looked like it was like a bottle service photo, but the fact that they both have photos with G-Eazy,
that's what I'm saying.
Except Sarah's was not like on her page. Like that was her out and about with G-Eazy. Like G-Eazy was like either a friend of hers or was her boo or whatever, you know.
Interesting.
Anna was, you know. But so the point is though, can you imagine if next week all of a sudden some girl like falls for Tyler?
If it's one of the new girls, that makes sense.
I mean,
like one of the girls that came like last week.
Yeah. But like barely anyone's really gotten to know Matt. There's been so much
exactly
drama.
My point. That's exactly my point. It's like, okay, good. This is a good way to get more girls off the show. Clear out the room, guys.
We gotta get to know. How else am I gonna?
All day.
You're bringing in another woman. You're bringing in Heather. I need to get to know some of these other people.
Well, this is what makes me think that Sarah is coming back. With all of the stuff they're packing in this season, I believe they're gonna have to snip around they gotta cut some corners and trim the fat. You know what I'm saying? I do not think that they would waste a whole episode on Sarah if she's not coming back.
Well, apparently.
Unless she's gonna be the Bachelorette or some shit.
I mean, maybe, but apparently there was so you know how last week we just saw the ending portion of the date? Well, you know, it was the group date and it got cut. Like we only saw the end where he did the cocktail hour. And then there was like the varsity comments that happened during that portion. We didn't see the day portion. Well, apparently Tayshia and JoJo were there and hanging out and talking with Matt, and they fully edited all of that out.
See, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly my point. Why the hell would they edit out Tayshia and JoJo and leave in Sarah if Sarah wasn't coming back? I stand by what I say.
Yeah. I mean, Tayshia,
that doesn't make sense,
the most recent Bachelorette, you're going to cut a whole scene with her?
Yeah.
Also, I'd be mad.
I'd be like, I quarantined my ass, flew all the way out here.
Yeah. I'd rather be with
JoJo's like, why am I here again?
JoJo's like, I'm extremely busy. I have television shows. Tayshia's like, I have found the love of my life. Like, why are you making me come out here?
Why are you taking me away from him?
Yeah. Ugh, the two of them. But yeah, so we'll see.
Still obsessed with them. One last thing about the episode. You know what? No, let's not even get into it. We're going to get into it this episode. All right.
Okay, so then Becca.
Mm-hmm.
There was a photo that Matt James posted that I do have to talk to you about, because on Tyler's birthday, Matt James posted a photo, like a whole montage to Tyler. And there was a photo that was
I saw
their quote unquote first apartment together.
Oh, I saw. Horrific.
I mean, so Broads, I don't know if you recall us talking about Matt James's roommate going on a podcast episode and talking about her issues with Matt James. And
wait, the funny thing is that she was like, we all enabled each other. Like, she didn't actually talk shit on him about the messy thing. That was just hilarious, because that was it's disgusting.
It was disgusting, but she did say that Tyler would sleep on a disgusting beanbag, and the photo was Tyler on the beanbag. And that room,
oh my God, that's like a nightmare. That's like when you decide to go home with a guy from the club and you get there and you're like, oh my God, like, I'm calling an Uber right now. It doesn't matter how drunk you are. You're like, I'm going home.
I have to say that might be like top 5, like, no, maybe like top 3 worst, like, go home, like having
that photo was so bad.
It was like, that's like, to me, top 3 like one night stand, when you when you go to the person's house and it's just disgusting. Like, if Matt James is so,
like, how dare you even try to bring someone home to your house looking like that?
There's no way that Gigi ever stepped foot in there. Like, there's no way that these.
I can't stop thinking about Gigi, thinking about this whole situation.
In her stilettos, stilettos.
She literally doesn't even know where he lives.
No, has no idea. And like, there's no way that they ever brought girls home. Like, they had to just go back to their place, because
I'm sure they did. Because it's Tyler. I bet he got away with with that kind of shit all the time.
I don't care how much of a god you are. If your spot looks like that and I go home, I'm leaving.
If
or
you're
if I go
a
to your house, I'm
celeb,
leaving.
If you're a celeb and I know you're making that influencer coin, honey, and you live under your friend's bed, literally under your friend's bed, on a beanbag, I'm like, are you saving up to like build your empire? Like maybe you're future oriented. And in that case, I'm going to stick by your side. But what it looks like to me is that you are a massive piece of shit.
What it looks like to me is maybe codependence that we should go and we should talk to somebody about, because
Also hoarders. Like that place was like covered. You couldn't see the ground.
bitch, you couldn't walk. You couldn't walk. Like
It looked like they have trails going to the bathroom.
there were layers of like stuff and trash to like climb. It looked like something out of WALL-E when the robots are like going over all the garbage. That's what the bedroom looked like.
So bad. It was truly so bad. Which actually, that's the only thing about Matt is like, I think that he's just a little young. And what I mean by that is like not age wise, because I know what it feels like to be age shamed, but like if that's how you were living last year, sweetie, you're still a little, you got some life to live, some learning to do.
Yeah.
With peace and love.
Yeah, with peace and love. Whoever's gonna show up and be the person that he chooses in the end, like I want to know. I want actual, I don't care about the rest of this damn show. What I want is video footage of that person walking into his apartment for the first time.
Like they used to do on The Bachelor.
Yeah, yes.
Like, remember, was that Ali scene when they were doing the
Yes.
OG recaps when she went back to his New York apartment?
Yes, the poor guy. All the other guys had dates elsewhere, but he happened to live in New York, and so he had to take her back to his apartment where I'm pretty sure there wasn't even a bed. And
I
there
mean,
was,
they
like,
did it on Love is
cockroaches.
Blind. I want them to start doing that again on The Bachelor, please.
I mean, it's true. That was one of my favorite things about Love is Blind is when they
Right?
took them back to the homes. Oh
And you're
my
like,
God.
are you right about the homes? Remember, what's her name?
Mark
With
and
her-
Jessica?
Jessica. Exactly how we called it. Okay, we're getting derailed. But yes, let's do that again. Matt's house is disgusting. Okay, that's all.
Yes.
On
But
that.
what I'm saying is like Matt, when this person gets to know Matt, he's living in this like gorgeous home away from the hotel.
But now he and Tyler are living like in an $8,000 apartment.
that doesn't mean that it's not disgusting.
100%. But they probably hired maids now if they know what's good for them.
I mean, they need someone to keep like care of whatever home they're living in because
Okay. No, why am I even wasting my time giving them the benefit of the doubt? Let's move on. I was just about to say like, oh, well, maybe. No, they don't deserve that from me.
here's the thing. My car is disgusting, and like there are moments when my bedroom is disgusting, but I have the decency to not post it on social media.
I've never had a friend living under my bed. I'll say that. No one's ever lived under my bed on a beanbag.
I at certain points in college definitely like slept under people's beds when I would be too drunk to walk back to my spot. But that was
Why under the bed?
because in the dorms we would sometimes lift our beds. Like
Yeah,
when
I
we
know
had
what you're talking.
the
I mean, I know
bunks
what you're talking
to have
about. I'm kind of
space
playing dumb, but-
underneath. Okay, well you have
Yeah,
space underneath, and so I would set up like a little nest for myself, and sometimes pass out. Other than
I
that,
think that's what
no.
Tyler does too.
I think they're still living that college existence, and that's why
I think
they're
they
just
probably live in a 2-bedroom, like $8,000 a month apartment. I think they both probably live in the same room.
Oh yeah, I forget it's New York. Yeah, it's probably still like a
Oh no,
small
I meant they
space.
probably have an extra room that they probably have like a foosball table in, and they both sleep in the other room. Do you see the foosball table?
I feel like you have like a Ring camera in their home or something
Yeah,
because there's no way that that's not actually what's inside their home right now.
Or no, they think that they're high class now. They think they're high class now, and they have a pool table. They decided to pitch in their money. They're like, we live in the fucking, yacht lofts or whatever the place is called, and we're getting a pool table.
Was Tyler the one who hoisted Hannah Brown on the pool table and made out with her, or was that PewDiePie?
I don't know, but whoever it was, I'd like to erase it completely from my memory. No, it was.
No, I can't differentiate in my brain.
Pete was the one putting everyone up on the pulling everyone up.
That's
right?
true, but I remember there was one thing that Tyler did because I don't know why I specifically remember you and
I remember
both,
when she was laying on the pool table.
But I think
it
it
was Tyler.
I just remember at some point Tyler lifted her and put her on something because you and I were like, he's taking notes from Pete. I don't know if it was a pool table or if it was a desk. I don't remember.
I think it was a pool table. Mm-hmm.
If it was in the boat when they went there, I'm not sure.
I did get DMs from people saying they know Tyler personally. He's a really nice guy. Because I was like, Tyler's a clout chaser. That's what I said on my Instagram today. And then people were like, he's a nice guy.
I have actually...
He'd still be nice and a clout chaser.
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't hate clout chasers. What do they call them now? Clout goblins?
Yep.
Yeah.
So accurate. Such an accurate term.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's fine. I don't care. Try to get that fame. Try to get that money, honey. Whatever. No shame.
Sorry, I sound like someone was literally at my front door.
You looked so scared. I felt fear radiating through my spine seeing your eyes. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Oh my God.
Remember last time when someone like banged on the door or whatever happened?
Yeah, that was so scary.
Yeah, that was really scary.
That was so scary. You also had that same fear look. And I'll be real with you, been watching a lot of scary movies lately, and kind of like you too. Sitting farther away from me on this Zoom, I feel like
you would see something happen, or like I would get pulled out of the frame and the camera would just be lingering there.
And now I'm freaked out. Now I feel like I need to close my eyes because I don't want to see it.
Whenever I hear anything outside, I'm like, oh, I knew it would happen. Like they're here for me. That's like instantly where my brain goes. I'm like, well, the mob is coming, and no, it's the apocalypse, and they're gonna. I don't know what they want from me, but
I watched
something.
I watched The Quiet Place last night for the first time.
I don't like that movie.
That movie, did you not like it because you didn't like it, or did you think it was scary? Because it scared me. It made me badly.
Angry. It was scary, and it also made me angry. I'm like, from someone who has had unplanned pregnancies, why are you getting pregnant? You think you're gonna be able to just put this baby in a drawer? What?
And then I was so anxious because of the baby the entire time. I couldn't. I could barely watch it. I kept asking Evan. I was like, I don't know if I can keep watching this. We're gonna have to turn it off. I'm checking the monitor with Ember all the time. I was like, my baby, and I was like freaking out. It was a whole thing. And he's like, we can stop it. And then I was just like, no, I must continue my journey.
You should watch the horrible movie my professor forced me to watch last week.
Which one?
Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson.
You know what's so funny is we almost watched that. We were like going
watch
through.
It so you can feel I have PTSD from that movie, and I'm not actually exaggerating.
Oh my God.
I get like this one scene flashes in my head like at least a few times a day. So watch it.
I don't know if I'm prepared because we watched Hereditary a couple days ago, and
I still haven't seen it.
When I say horror, like true deep horror.
Oh, I know.
It's maybe what you're talking about where like it's been maybe like 5 days since I've watched it, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I hate it. Like I'm very, very mad that I watched it, and I don't recommend it to people because it affected me in so many negative ways. And I'm actually really angry that people didn't prepare me and say, hey, just FYI, this isn't just your typical horror movie. There's like a lot of horrific things the first 3/4 of the movie that like are going to stick in your brain for forever. So
yeah, I don't think I'll be watching it. My friend Nick scared me out of it when I was pregnant. He was like, don't do it.
No, I don't. I will never recommend the movie to anybody. Never. Acting, phenomenal. Will never recommend the movie to anybody. Ever.
Damn, that's gonna send so many people like running to their TVs right now to watch it.
I know. I'm telling you, don't watch it. I'm telling you now. It's very.
I used to not have that self-control when I was younger, and recently I have it now. Where like one of my friends started telling me something the other night, and she was like, "Wait, do you want to hear this?" And I was like, "Nope." I have no curiosity either. Like, please stop your story right now. And we just went on with the night. You know, she didn't tell me. I didn't used to have that self-control. I have it now.
I love that. I think that that's very important because that's boundaries, queen. And I'm telling everybody now, don't watch Hereditary because when I telling you that it's traumatizing, like I'm giving you a fucking trigger warning. Like it's a very upsetting movie.
And you're going to have more triggers after watching this movie. That's how I felt watching Under the Skin. I was like, I didn't need the trigger warning before, but now after watching this movie, now I need one.
It's like, yeah, oh, cool. Never thought about that. Now I'm going to be thinking about that all the time. Like,
Straight up.
Yeah. Anyways,
Well, that's horrible.
You know, from honestly, the horror movies were inspired by thinking about Matt James and Tyler's apartment. So, you know what else makes me think of horror movies is what we experienced the past few days with Dylan and Jed.
I'm gonna have to cool off before we discuss this one.
I know. I feel like
take a few deep breaths.
Should I set the scene?
Yeah, please.
For those who don't
lay it
know.
out there because I don't know where to begin. So please do us the honor, as you do so well.
Why, thank you. So, broads. A few days ago, Dylan Barber of Hannah Brown's season, who then went on Bachelor in Paradise and got engaged to Hannah G. He took to Twitter and out of nowhere drops this bomb and says that he's feeling, he got all sorts of heated. Cancel-a-
Like, what prompted this, first of all?
I think I might know what it is.
Okay.
Okay. And he says, cancel ABC. I'm heated.
Cancel ABC. Okay. Cancel Walmart.
Yeah, cancel Walmart, cancel ABC, cancel the stock market, honey. Hello. Anyways, but he says, I'm gonna go. I'm answering all your questions.
Oh my
and
God.
he goes on this Twitter rampage of answering every single, like he's answering so many
Where was Hannah
questions.
G during this?
Well, she ended up posting like 24 hours later and made some side comment about like, you know, watching movies while Dylan has like his Twitter fiasco or whatever. Like she didn't seem upset, but she also didn't seem pleased. And I don't necessarily see that this would be going down very well. So Dylan started answering all these questions. He's answering questions that are like, I mean, in my opinion, it's a lot of
Like,
shit
not that important.
No, it's a lot
Just,
of shit that
stupid
like
behind the scenes stuff.
it's also stuff that I feel like a lot of people like yourself have talked about. Like there's been a lot of people from Bachelor Nation that have come out and said all these things.
Right. Like, do they make you keep the leads? Like, those just like stupid questions.
Yeah. And he
I saw a number of them.
someone says, how much control do producers have over who stays and who goes? And he says, nearly all control. And someone says,
Nearly all control. I kind of wouldn't agree with that, but kind of would, I guess. I don't know.
well,
I'm like, bitch,
he goes,
sorry.
someone says,
You went home like what? Like week 4? Honey?
I have so many thoughts. Like,
I mean, granted, like all of his friends have gone all the way. That's stupid of me to
it's
say.
still,
his girlfriend got in the top 3, whatever.
But then someone says, do the producers hire actors to be the villains on certain seasons? And he says, I've always wondered too. I think it's possible. And I'm like,
No,
you know that's not true. You know that's not
it's
true.
not. I can say, by the way, I will just address this right now. For one, you'd be surprised how small the budgets are and like how much people get paid to be on like Paradise. And even on The Bachelor, like almost everything is like paid for, like in terms of hotels and stuff. From like, they don't have they're not going to hire actors if they can literally just find crazy people through casting.
Sure.
Like just wild people who are willing to say anything during casting. They like I've said, they give you a personality test. They can literally see on your personality test, like, you're a narcissist, and be like, let's get you on the show. Like,
and it's like, I feel like
you don't have to hire people for
and
that,
I feel
guys.
like proof is in the pudding. Like, hello, we've all been watching reality TV for forever. Like, we all know that there are wild people out there.
Yes.
Like this has been happening for forever.
This is how reality TV works. Like, you exploit just people, just like not
Yes.
actors. Also, yes, Victoria's an actor. She's been on other shows, but like, of course, like, look at her. She also is trying to go on a reality TV show. Like, that doesn't mean that she's acting on The Bachelor. What?
My thing is, like, I feel like so often people forget that they have a choice to go on the reality TV show. Like, I feel like so often it's like, no, but these people auditioned to be on a reality TV show. So at the end of the day, to a certain extent, these are all people who are comfortable being in the spotlight.
I mean, yeah, at the very least, you signed up to be on TV.
That's the thing. It's like, I feel like these are all the type of people
on the most popular reality TV show in America.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like when you sign up, like by no means do you
don't sign up to be harassed. But
no, of course not. But I'm just talking about being in the spotlight. I'm just talking about being in the spotlight. Like, this is not like, of course, nothing can prepare you. No, like nothing can prepare you of like that's very clear. But I'm just saying, personality wise, it's not like, you know, this is a forced situation. Like, you want to be on television.
Okay,
like,
so this is where he said one thing. Bring up the if you have it on you, the thing where he said like producers like use you until they don't need you anymore, like whatever.
I don't have that one on hand. Okay. No. But don't bother because they're gone because he deleted all of them.
I just wanted to see if maybe it would. Okay, it doesn't matter. But either way, he tweeted something where he was like producers use you like as long as they can, and then when they get off the show, like they don't do anything to like support you mentally or emotionally. And I'm kind of like, dude, I know that there's unethical stuff that producers do. Like, I get that, but also like, I don't feel like it's the producer's job to like check in off the show like frequently. Like, that's a nice thing to do. I don't think it's their obligation or responsibility. When you drop back down on that plane, get back to your house, like, that's your life.
No.
Like, and that's their life is, they work on a reality show. They don't get paid to reach out to you and like check in on you and like make sure you're doing well. Like, that's not what you signed up for in terms of, that's what I really felt about his stuff. I'm like, I don't think anything can prepare you, and I think it's really difficult, and I think there's fucked up stuff that happens on the show.
Of course.
For sure. But like, I'm like, after the show, Dylan, you're really saying that it's their responsibility to take care of you? That seems weird to me.
And I can't imagine going on a show and getting a bad edit afterwards. Like, I cannot even wrap my brain around it. I've thought about Claire so many days over the past like few months where people gave her such a hard time for falling in love, and like and she was getting harassed. And I'm like, there's no way that woman could have expected or prepared herself that like the fact that she found love so quickly that people were going to have such a negative reaction to it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that part for sure. But also like, this is where I'm like, Claire and some other people, I'm like, look at how they've made you look every single time you're on the show. Like, how are you trusting these people? And I have to say, that's how I felt even coming off The Bachelor, having a good edit. When I got the offer for Paradise, You Can Ask Gray, aside from our relationship, I was like, I'm scared to go on the show. I'm scared because I don't know what I could end up looking like at the end of it. Like,
of course.
I have seen the powers of editing, and so I was like really hesitant. So for me, when someone gets a bad edit and keeps going back on the show, I am kind of like, at that point, once you do already know, I'm kind of like, how are you going to enter into that again? That's on you. Like, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on.
And that's the thing. Like,
shame
when
on me. Yeah.
I always screw that one up. I'm just like, what is that? Is that Michael from The Office? It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
I don't know, but I know George Bush messed it up in his speech.
Oh, is that who I'm thinking of? I mix up George Bush and Michael Scott sometimes.
Oh my God. Okay.
What can you do? But when I say that's not, I'm not trying to by any means like write off the fact that there is like, that I do believe that
there's manipulation and unethical stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also believe that like that mental health checks need to be like, you know, this is my thing. I'll say this. I don't think after the show, producers have the obligation to be following up. But I believe that probably at this point, especially with social media, that ABC needs to be following up with
they do. They have a mental health stuff. They have a mental health counselor that contacts you after you get off the show or after you get kicked off. They have like a certain conversation with you, like make sure you're well, and then they give you their card and they check in on you like a few days later. So like
I would say like during the season though. Like now, because social media is such a big thing.
Every week. Producers
they do?
call you every week before the episodes, and they tell you like they prepare you like if it's going to be like a bad week or a good week for you. Like, here's how you look this week.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did they ever call you and say it's going to be a bad week?
I mean,
Because I would imagine the anxiety and when you get the call and are like, it's going to be a rough one. I can't even.
I would ship bootstraps.
I would ship myself off to on a vacation immediately. Be like, I'm turning off everything. I can't even do it.
Well, I mean, I guess I didn't have any like really bad weeks, to be honest. But there was some moments where it was like, yeah, like this week it's a little iffy. Like you kind of like go in hard on Crystal. Like there's one scene where you like kind of really giving it to her, but yeah, like so they prep you. I mean, to me, it's like this is their job, and like you signed up for this show, and then you also have to remember, even though you're not getting paid for the show, like you are getting paid in exposure, which sounds shitty, but like if it goes well for you, it's a gamble you're taking going on the show. It could ruin your life. It could also pay your bills for the next 10 years.
What and okay, so then this is where I have some
Dylan.
This is where I have some words with Dylan, where it's like, okay, Dylan, I'm not saying that there are, like you said, there's not manipulation and things that happen that are not good, but you and your fiance both had incredible edits. You guys both gained a ton of followers. You're making a lot of money from this. I'm pretty sure the show like paid for their engagement party. That was like a big bash before the pandemic. Like there's a lot of good things that have come out of this, right? So it's like the vigor that all of a sudden that came out. And also like, I'm sorry, broads, but let's not forget, and I don't know if you keep up with Dylan like I do, and I don't I don't intend to keep up with Dylan. I end up keeping up with Dylan.
Keep running into him on the internet.
Because whenever there's a post about like the show or whatever, he trolls stuff. And he's just kind of
like
like
the equivalent
that.
of like running into someone at the grocery store. You're like, whoa, didn't expect to see you
like,
here, and I'd rather not.
This was not a meetup that I was really hoping for, but here we are. And that's often how I feel with Dylan on social media. So when all of a sudden Dylan, of all the people to do this who had a good edit, I'm not surprised that it was Dylan.
You know, it's interesting because Elon, I believe, was the producer who said that to me, where I was like, this show, like, it's fucked or whatever. And he's like, yeah, but it can also like change your life and give you opportunities that you literally would never have before. And like, and I know that sounds like, I guess, a little fucked up, but like, bitch, it's true. Dylan, you guys would not be buying a fucking house in San Diego like were it not for the show. And it's a gamble. It's a gamble. Mm-hmm. And you might end up looking like Jed. You might end up looking like Dylan and Hannah G. Mm-hmm. And you watch the show, honey. You watch the show. And you honestly, this is kind of my thing. Like for people like MJ or people like Victoria, if you watch the show and you're like, no way in hell am I going to end up looking like that guy. Like, that says a lot more about you than it does about producers. Like,
well,
you see people's darkest sides come out on the show. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like to be like, let's be clear. On Dylan's Twitter rampage, he said at one point, on one of, and I wish I had it pulled up, but again, I should have all the screenshots, but I wasn't expecting him to delete them in just a few days. But someone asked about like, you know, looking bad or looking good. And he said, you know, it's easy to make someone sketchy look bad, and it's hard to make someone good look bad. So you're kind of like, well, you're like, so
here's your point.
So what you're saying is like someone who's a troublemaker, it's easy to make them look like the villain, or someone who's controversial, it's easy to make them look like the villain. But like a nice, good person, it's hard to make them look like the villain. So
okay,
I don't know.
Then these people who look bad, then you're saying they're not good people. Then
yeah,
that's what you're implying. Then like
so
when you
I'm
say
just
that,
like,
you know,
what is happening? Like what am I missing here?
What are you mad about? What are you mad about exactly? Like.
And that's what then someone asked him, they're like, so like what exactly inspired this Twitter rampage? And he said, this public figure world is fake, and sometimes it needs to be called out. #hold the line. And I'm like, what is
hold the line?
Uh-huh.
Like, isn't that the like, he's saying like he's in a union? Like the Bachelor union?
Maybe that's what he's starting. Maybe that this was that. Maybe that like this whole
We deserve
thing.
rights as Bachelor alumni who have made millions literally off of the show. We deserve rights too. I mean, look, I actually like don't even know how to feel about this because parts of the show are I just don't even know what to think. It fucks my head whenever I think about this stuff because the show is abusive in aspects, but you do consent to it. When you sign that contract, you say that you can't sue them for anything, like for death, for libel, for slander. You can't sue them for anything, and you just go and sign your name in big loopy letters.
Do they make it pretty clear?
Girl, in the contract, it is like, you cannot sue us no matter if you look bad, if we misrepresent you, if you die, if you this, if you that.
So you just sign your life away.
You get paid no money. We can use your image here, there, and everywhere for zero money. And you go, yup, I want to be on the show. And you know, if you don't sign it, then they find someone else. So I consented to it. He consented to it. We said, do what you want with my image. Make me look like shit if you want to. But put my face all over America.
See, my thing is there's something about, I mean, honestly, even up to your season, there's something about like past seasons where social media didn't reveal as much as it does now, where I go, this feels sketchier. Like you're signing something and going like, oh yeah, sure, but this won't happen, so I'll sign everything. Everyone has to be careful, right? Blah, blah, blah. But like in the past, I would say since Colton's season, social media has cracked the show open so much that you know all the behind the scenes. Like they can do Frankenbite shit. They can make you look how they want to look. That I feel like now when you sign up for it, you really, like, most people have to really know what they're like,
what you're getting
they're
yourself into potentially.
Yeah.
Yes, especially when it comes to like digging up dirt on the internet, like yada yada yada. It's like, if you have many skeletons in the closet, I recommend not doing it. No matter how good you think you've wiped your history, if you don't want shit getting out there, don't go on the show, to be honest.
Yeah, for real.
That's like, anyway, that's a different conversation. But so anyway, I
wouldn't go on the show, Becca. Like honestly, I have nothing to hide. I really don't. Okay? But
why would you not give us the pleasure of seeing you on the show? Come on, bitch.
Thank you, Queen. But like I'll tell you this. 2 years ago, would have gone in a heartbeat if I was single and had the opportunity. Now, having seen all of this since Colton's season, really, I would be way too freaked out to be like, I know I'm a good person. Like, I know that I have nothing to hide. But at the same time, I would just be too wigged out of like the potential kickback, because honestly, I know myself and I know that I'm very sensitive, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get harassed online that much. And that would be one of my biggest reasons why I wouldn't.
See, and now, to be honest, you have had a little more of a taste of it.
Yes, it does happen.
So it gives you perspective. It gives you perspective. It's perspective I didn't have going on the show. And I don't think anyone has, of being like, you go on the show, you're like, I won't listen to comments. If 1,000 people are saying nice things to me, I won't pay attention to the one mean thing. Yeah. It is not until you experience it that you go,
you know what?
This sucks.
You're probably right. It's probably because, I'll get shit and I get the angry DMs now in the past like 2 years, and I hadn't before. And you think you're like, I guess that's true. If I wouldn't have experienced this, then I probably would have been like, oh no, I know I'm good and I can handle it. And I like, but when you get a taste, it really, it's
which actually, this is a good segue into a little something I want to talk about for a second. Just on that note, it is. And this is another thing that I struggle with, the dichotomy of, like, when we're talking about, like, is Bachelor unethical or is it ethical, yada, yada. It's like, I go between these two where I'm like, we are putting out all of our opinions out there. We're putting our lives out there, and we're benefiting from it. We're profiting off of it. So, like, who am I to say that, like, oh, like, it's so hard to hear things, this or that. But I will say, like, I guess just to get a little bit more honest and vulnerable, as they've been saying. Do you notice that how Tayshia didn't say the L, and like no one now says the L in vulnerable? They say like vulnerable. Drives me nuts.
Vulnerable.
Do
you say wait? Do you say vulnerable?
I say vulnerable. Yeah.
Oh yeah, your girl with the pronunciation. It's bad news. I say
maybe
vulnerable.
It's just me that says vulnerable.
No, I think it's it's the correct way to say it. I believe.
Yeah, I just wanted to say like, and it actually just hit me yesterday on Ruth's birthday, and I hadn't really like realized it. It's like, it might just be a few weeks, but I'm going through like, I'm having it's a hard chunk of time right now. Like, there's a lot that, yes, I signed up for, but there's just like a lot happening in my life right now that I'm super grateful for, super blessed, but I've been experiencing like so much stress in a way I haven't like in a really long time. And, you know, it's affecting my sleep. Like when I get stressed, I get really anxious. And like sometimes I lie awake in bed at night, like listening to every sound out the window for like 3 or 4 hours and can't sleep, you know, coupled with kids' sleep stuff, coupled with homework, you know, with so much stuff going on. And you know, it's been hard. It's been a hard few weeks, and it's going to be hard for the next couple of months. And so I've just been like really, really worn thin. And like, that's not an excuse for bad behavior or anything, but like some of my negativity may be coming across like on the podcast or on Instagram or here and there, just where I've got like maybe a little bit of a bite to me. But, you know, it's just interesting because I've just been thinking about how people love people when they're real, but then sometimes shit gets too real, and then people are like, you're not now who I want you to be, or you didn't say the thing that I thought you should say, or whatever. And then people like come for you. And I just have to say, like, and I don't normally do this, but it's been rough the past few weeks, like having such a hard time. And then when I just like, you know, log on to Instagram or whatever to like do my job and to try to like talk about what's going on in my life and be honest about stuff, you know, just like think through the things that you send people. It's like I've had some conversations with a couple people who just like really came at me, and then it was like the minute I just said like responded back just with like my side, just like calmly, then all of a sudden, you know, it was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I know you're probably going through a lot. And it's like, can you think through that before the person responds back to you on the other end? Like I know sometimes it feels like you're shouting into the void, and like they're probably not going to read it. But like if someone does read what you say, and you say like things that are attacking their character, about who they are as a person, you know, even when people say like, oh, I thought you were a feminist, or I thought you were this, but now this. And it's like, okay, like this one thing that, anyway, it's just difficult. And so maybe just like think through before you send something like, one, does this really need to be said? 2, could this be said in maybe a different way? Like, am I just rage typing right now because something is particularly like harmful to me, or, you know, there's been times in the past where people are like, oh, just this and that. It's like, well, Jess goes through shit. Like I go through shit. We're people. And I'm so thankful for the community we have here, but like, it's not about perfection. It's not, like, and I can't be everything that everyone wants me to be, and I'm not going to be. And I guess I just had to get off my chest and just say, like, if you find that either one of us is like really bothering you consistently, like it, and I am not saying this in a petty way at all, like then like maybe step away for a little bit and then maybe try to come back. But like, if you feel like you're being consistently like hurt or disappointed, or, you know, anything about one or both of us, like maybe it's time to just like take a pause and then maybe try to come back, or maybe not. Anyway, sometimes I just feel like, and I've been in this place myself with like people that I enjoy like listening to or whatever on podcasts or TV, and sometimes it's just time to take a break, and we're not in the same place right now, so that's just for the best health of everyone, I think. Anyway, glad I got that off my chest. I just felt like it's been something that's really been weighing heavily on me like the past week or so, and I just wanted to be completely honest, and that's the end of that. But
well, I would say two things. One, it's tough because it's like we come on here twice a week and we like go hard on our opinions with people and situations.
True. That is true.
So it's like, it's like you have the, like, just how we have like the right to like shout it out. Like, yeah, they do too, right? Or people do too. So there's that.
I think it's something about the personal edge, because that's really what bothers me. If people just say like, hey, you guys were totally out of line saying this or that, I think that's one thing. But, when someone messages you directly and says like you're a disgusting display of blah, 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 blah. It's like, you came to like say that to me. And that like hurts me as a person, and you feels like you wanted that to hurt me. And
yes,
that's just anyway. I just feel like there's sometimes there's the personal edge, and that's what really bothers me. But by all means, you are entitled to your opinion, just like we shout ours out. I should have given that disclaimer. And please, that does not mean I don't mean don't speak up if something bothers you. That is not what I'm saying at all. Please take to the streets, take to our DMs in the comment section. I should have given that disclaimer. I wasn't thinking about that side of it, but like by no means do I mean like don't say something. Just like think about like why you're sending something, and then like, maybe just analyze a little before you send something out into someone's DMs.
Well, I just to encourage you publicly, you are, I don't think anybody knows, because I mean, you talk about it a little bit, but the amount of shit you're doing right now is wild. Like, and I think the
clothing line is launching March 1st. Hooray.
I don't know. I mean, genuinely, I really don't know how like you're doing everything, but it's like going to school, being a mother of two, have a clothing line, have your Instagram, have this podcast twice a week, have your Patreon. I mean, like I don't, and I'm probably missing things. And that's just like, that's like work shit. That's not even like just like existing in human life, and like,
you're like trying to have a night to hang with my boyfriend and watch a movie.
Or like errands, like doing that type of stuff. So,
thank you.
You're killing it right now.
What I'm just saying is like, hang in, going through the rough patch right now. Give me a couple months. If you need to take a pause for a couple months because I'm pissing you off, I get it. I'm having a rough one, come with me or don't, but I'll be back around brighter, stronger than ever in a few months. It's just a rough couple of months. And honestly, I've noticed that it comes out in like, when I get really stressed and when I get really anxious, I get like, I do, the irony is that I start sinking my hooks into other people, where I'm just like, sinking my hooks probably isn't the right thing, where I'm just kind of like, and fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you. And the truth is that it has nothing to do with the person that's in front of me, and it has everything to do with what's going on inside of me, which is a good lesson, that when people are coming, like being very rude or mean to you, like it says a lot more about what's going on. It doesn't excuse it at all, but it does, don't try, says a lot more about them than it says about you.
Wow. So, I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Speak your truth, love. You too.
Well, with that, everyone, why don't we take a break to talk about one of our sponsors?
Oh, you know what? Talking about just relaxing and taking a deep breath, let's talk about this sponsor, honey, okay? If you're having a little bit of internal panic because, life, also because it's Valentine's Day in just a few, you still don't know what to do with that night, that special night, fear not, because your favorite broads have the perfect plan in place that everyone will enjoy. Trust us. All you need to do is head over to adamandeve.com and you'll be on your way to your sexiest Valentine's Day yet.
Not gonna lie, the first sentence or two, I didn't know where you were going, but now I know where you are going. To adamandeve.com. It's a one-stop shop for all things hot. They have everything from lingerie to toys, to bondage, to adult videos. Wink, wink. Whatever you're into, they've got you covered. And as a gift to you, they're offering some incredible deals for Valentine's Day. First of all, you'll get 50% off almost any single item on the site. So potentially you could save a lot of money. On top of that, every purchase comes with 3 mystery gifts. Ooh, fun. Something for you, something for your partner, and something you'll both enjoy. Ooh, la la.
Girl, it doesn't even stop there. You'll also get 6 free movies for you to enjoy.
6 free movies for me to enjoy.
50% off, 3 free gifts and 6 free movies.
Guys, I'm going to have a new extra room in my house to keep all of my sex toys from Adam and Eve.
Maybe that's what's in Tyler and Matt's second bedroom. Maybe they've used our...
that crossed my mind. I was like, how can I incorporate their second bedroom in this read?
Maybe they used our code, okay? Please. This is just too good of a deal to pass up. And also, hi, hello. This is not just your V-Day gift, baby. We've all been stuck inside a lot lately, and for a hot minute there, your girl was not feeling inspired sensually. And then I went on adamandeve.com. I got some fun new toys, and I have been feeling it all over again. It has been wonderful.
Wow, good thing, because it's been almost a year in quarantine now, girl. You gotta spice things up in some way or another.
It's time, and Thank you, Adam and Eve. It's finally getting it going again, okay? So remember, Adam and Eve doesn't just inspire that partner pleasure. It also inspires that solo pleasure or group pleasure, whatever you're feeling, broads. Come on.
Okay. Head on over to adamandeve.com. Be sure to use promo code CHATTY. That's CHATTY. Without it, there's not going to be any free stuff. So use code CHATTY, please, and support our show. What a fun way to support our show. By going to adamandeve.com, getting some fun toys, some free movies, some free toys. Oh my God. Anyway, code CHATTY, adamandeve.com.
Well, broads, if you have 30 minutes of unexpected free time, what would you do with it? I can't narrow down my list of what I would do without some serious thought, because there's a lot. But I know for sure what would be on top of the list I would not be doing would be going to the post office, okay? It's just a hassle, and I would be happy if I never had to go again, okay? Which, funny enough, and wonderfully enough, is now a possibility with the help of Stamps.com.
Honestly, with the help of all of these sponsors, I never have to leave my house literally ever again.
Thank God.
Thank God. Stamps.com. I love it. It's the ultimate time saver, because let's be honest, it really is never just 2 minutes in and out when you go to the post office like you say it's going to be. No, it's more like 25 minutes with 20 people in line. When you use Stamps.com, you can do anything you could do at the post office right from your home computer. No more hassle, no more lines. Just use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send.
And broads, it gets even better, because when you use Stamps.com, you'll get access to discounts you cannot even get at the post office, okay? Like 40% off post office rates and up to 62% off UPS rates. It saves so much. It's obvious. It's a no-brainer.
Stop wasting time going to the post office. Go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code CHATTY, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments, no contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, use promo code CHATTY, Stamps.com. You're never going to have to go to the post office again.
Okay, so broads, back to Dylan. So Dylan dropped this whole thing, all right? Now, I believe in my heart, truly, that he dropped all this having something to do with Heather. He mentioned Heather briefly.
What?
Yeah, and I believe Heather and Hannah G are friends. And I think I have a suspicion that maybe production did Heather a little dirty in these upcoming episodes. Shit. And so I'm wondering if, he's being a mouthpiece to a certain extent, if he's heated. And then I was thinking, this is Heather, because he threw out Heather's name. But then,
oh my God.
But then when someone said who was done the most dirty, he says Jed. And everyone in America faints. And I don't know if you remember, broads. I'm going to take you back. I don't know if you remember, but right after the show aired and Jed was the biggest villain in the US of A, his one good friend was Dylan, and him and Dylan were going to the San Diego Fair together and all sorts of stuff. And Jed would take photos and have Dylan in the photo, like right next to him on the Ferris wheel. And then Dylan would take a selfie and like not have Jed in it because Jed was hated at the time. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I was just flashing back to this, and it's like now all of a sudden he's like going to bat for his buddy Jed. I don't know, but
yeah, and then people were responding to him on Twitter being like, so are you saying he didn't cheat on his girlfriend? He was like, yes, or something. And I was like, okay. So, I think when you hear the story from your buddy, you hear a different story. That's what I think.
First of all, yeah. Second. Okay, well, it's wrapped in this. So Jed then takes to his Instagram and is just like, everyone, I'm starting a podcast.
Oh my God.
And this first episode.
He's like, whoa, hey everyone. Like, I'm just trying to capitalize on the moment. Yeah.
Or Dylan knew that he was planning on starting a podcast. And he's like, I'm starting a podcast. In episode 1, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't have a girlfriend going in. I didn't cheat on her. I didn't cheat on Hannah. I was done dirty by production, and I'm going to spill all of that. And the episode is coming out February 2nd. Mark your calendars. So I'm sitting there like a goddamn idiot, waiting minute by minute for this waiting for this podcast to drop. Hours go by, and then the evening comes, still not out. Next day, nothing. It's been 2 days, and he has been radio silent. He hasn't even posted. He gave us a date, and he hasn't even posted on his Instagram explaining why it's not out. Jed is lying to us again. He lied to Hannah. He lied to his ex-girlfriend, and he's lying about this damn podcast coming out on the 2nd.
Oh my God.
And I feel betrayed.
Oh, wait, Jed brought Brussels sprouts and flowers home to his girlfriend, though, 8 hours ago. I just checked on the gram. Well, guess what? So, yeah, Dylan deleted all the tweets, and then didn't he release a statement, honey?
So not only is Jed 100% radio silent on us after saying that he's going to put out a podcast, then all of a sudden Dylan deletes all the tweets, and he says that he admits that he really only had very positive experiences with producers in the network. And he said, moving forward, I'll speak only from personal experience and continue to be an ally and support system to those who need it.
What? An ally? What, when he's holding the line for his fellow batch alum?
I don't know. And then he says, oh, that was actually, I'm sorry, I'm hearkening back. I have the statement that he tweeted about being good and bad on the show, by the way. I'd like to say it specifically. Okay. He said, you got to understand the game. They get paid off you doing shit that warrants screen time. He said, claiming producers guide conversations on screen. And then he says, it's easy to make a bad person look worse. It's hard to make a good person look bad. So it's kind of like, well...
Okay, so then, yeah, exactly. Anyone who looks bad isn't a good person. What?
Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In his first tweet, by the way, he said, kind of want to air out the dirty laundry. Mom got me riled up. So, like, his mom got him riled up? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I mean, mom, maybe that's a friend that he calls mom. Whatever it is.
Babe, with peace and love, just stop. You're bugging me.
He also said that... he was one of the lucky ones to have a great experience from the transition. And he said, I believe the way the message was delivered was wrong. I'm appreciative of the franchise and the platform given to me, and that was not reflected. Okay, so let's take we got to theorize here, B.
Wait, oh no, here said this in this tweet. Each person is a pawn in a larger scheme, and they do not have contestants' best interests in mind. Yeah, of course I'm sorry. If they had the contestants' best interest in mind and didn't see them as a pawn in the scheme, y'all, we would not be recapping this show. It would be a snooze fest. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's true. I'm just
saying. Like, everyone's always like, reality show is crazy behind the scenes. I'm like, yeah, how do you think they get people to throw drinks in each other's faces? People don't just normally do that when they're out to dinner or scream at each other. Most normal people aren't like that.
Of course. But okay, let's theorize here. Okay. This quick and sudden deleting of everything. And then like I am so appreciative for the franchise and everything it's done for me.
This is what I'm curious about too, because when I started saying stuff about The Bachelor, producers gave me a call and were like, you know, this could like jeopardize your future like chances with the show, whatever. Like this is just not a good look for you. You don't want to burn bridges.
Were you on contract at this point?
Well, yeah.
But he's off contract now.
I know. That's why I'm like, and also even if he was still on contract, like, okay, like, what are you guys still looking for from the show? You know, like, what would they? I'm confused.
Do you think that like I have a few thoughts.
Okay.
One,
like, what did they have to? Why would he? What are they going to say that's going to make him cower? You know, that's what I'm confused about.
Are they willing to give them some serious cash to get married on Paradise since they're still engaged?
I don't think Hannah would want to get married on Paradise.
No, but maybe they offer them a ton of money to air their wedding.
Yeah, maybe they're in. Yeah, sure. Maybe they're in talks with like ABC to air the wedding. Sure, yeah.
I know he's made comments before where he's like, "No, I'm not interested in that," but I don't believe it. Okay? I don't believe it because he seems to me like the type of person. Listen, the Dylan energy is this. Dylan gives me the energy that he's the friend who's just like, stupid fucking show. I hate that show. Bachelor. I can't believe you watch that shit. And he secretly watches it and then he goes on it. Like that's the vibe I get. So when he goes like, he always has that attitude about the show, and he's had it since the moment he left it, or since the moment that they were airing Hannah B's. He had like kind of this like attitude, like the show was like stupid. And I was like, you went on the show.
It's like, what is he hiding? It's like the lady doth protest too much, you know? Like,
it's like what like why
he's like,
why?
yeah, fuck ABC. Yeah, meanwhile, like he's hooking up with ABC, you know, like on the side. Like, what are you hiding, bitch? What?
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on. Why are you so? I don't know. Like maybe he feels insecure about going on the show.
That's kind of what my thought of it. But I'm just like, honey, you have got a ton of followers. You got a beautiful queen of a wife. Like, I mean, I don't, or a fiance. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know why he's deleting it.
Don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what they could hold above his head, unless maybe Hannah's been approached for like another show or something, and then producers are like, "It is not good for word to get around in Hollywood," like blah blah blah, and then Hannah's like, "Fucking delete that, like, make a statement like now," which I get. I feel you, girl.
Yeah, she'd be like I have 3 times more followers than you do.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, yeah. Stop. Do you want to hear that Jed or that Dylan and Hannah are difficult to work with? Like, is that a reputation what you want to get?
That's a good point. Because they're off contract now, so they couldn't sue them for anything, correct?
Yeah, it's very odd to me. And then but Jed not dropping his podcast, like I feel like something happened with that too.
Okay, so but
what can they do? Like, I legit don't know this. Like, can they sue you for anything you say after you get off contract?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't know.
Now,
sometimes I wake in bed at night and I'm like, oh shit, are they gonna come for me?
Oh, I bet. Oh my god, that's a whole other anxiety. Okay, I have a thought about Jed. So Dylan deletes the tweets. He's just like, I'm so sorry, ABC. I love you so much. Accept me back. He's fully like a husband that cheated, by the way. He's just like, oh my god, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I don't know what I was thinking. Like that was what's happening.
Yeah, like his group chat text got exposed and he's like, dude, fuck her. But she's such a bitch and she's ugly and whatever. And then now he's like, babe,
like, accept me, please.
I didn't mean it.
I promise. Like I tell the guys you're so cool all the time. Like they're just jealous.
By the way, he said that he's like, oh, if I did a podcast, like I should do a podcast. Like that shit would be hot fire or something. And I'm like, honey, do you know how much work goes into making a hot fire podcast? We would know.
Also, a lot of broads, which I totally get, sent the message and said, hey, please get Dylan on the podcast. And what I have to say is I love you so much, but no thank you, because for me, like, again, all the things he said, there's nothing new that you haven't said. You've said way more. There's plenty of people who have been straightforward about it. and talked
I think
about
he's
it.
bringing secondhand info too. Sorry, like he didn't even go
It's
that far
true.
on his season of The Bachelorette. Like this is just what other people are saying to him.
Yeah. And so
I mean, granted, Hannah G's stuff was actually, never mind, I shouldn't say that. Hannah G's stuff was, she got pretty far, and there was
Yeah.
definitely some fuckery happening with that.
there was
season.
some fuckery happening, but I'm just also like, you know what, like that, like Dylan's not like the energy that I'm necessarily like looking for in
No,
this
he
place.
bugs a little.
If I want someone to come on who was on the show who's gonna spill some tea, I would much rather have Blake come on, because Blake spills tea left and right.
Oh my
And
God, I actually would like to have Blake on.
And I like, I know he had there was all the things, but like I do have, there is a soft spot in my heart
People are
for
human.
Blake. What?
Little Grace. I said people are human. Little Grace, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I feel like I think that maybe he's had a change. There's been some change, and I don't know. But I would much prefer to have a
I'll tell you
conversation
what, that season
with
took
Blake.
him off his high horse. That is for sure, you know?
Those are facts, and he seems like that's what's happened. And I would much rather have Blake in the conversation than Dylan. I also think that Blake would spill way more hot tea. Like,
I agree.
Blake is like the
Blake probably has more hot tea. He was in the top 2 on Becca's season. He was, I mean, let's be real. Even though he fucked up and made all the mistakes leading up to Paradise,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit still showed up on the show.
Also, he was in talks to be the next Bachelor, so he's way more in the family in that way when it comes to Batch Nation. He's gone on Caitlyn's live tours. He's gone on Batch Nation's lives. I mean, Blake's been through much.
Blake's
more.
got connections.
Yeah, Blake's in, okay. But okay, so then Jed, he says he lies to us again. I feel, Jed, you know, you lied to us
Betrayed,
all of
honestly.
Hannah's season, and now you're going to lie to me about February 2nd when I'm waiting for all of your quote unquote hot tea to come out about how you never cheated on anybody. And then he doesn't drop anything, and I'm assuming it's not going to come out. Now, I don't know how he's going to like explain this.
Yeah.
But these are my thoughts, Becca. Okay, so he goes on his Instagram and he says, I didn't cheat on Hannah. I didn't cheat on my girlfriend. My ex. We weren't together when the show started. I want to talk about producer manipulation and how they screwed me, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, what rushes back in my mind is that, you know what's so interesting? Is all of Hannah Brown's season, Jed looked amazing. Because all the shit about Jed came out on fucking Reality Steve. So all of us knew about Jed once the season was like 3 episodes in, and we had to watch the arc of Jed get engaged to Hannah while they made him look like this like guitar strumming Romeo, and we're all screaming at the screen going like, he has a girlfriend. So what are you talking about, producer manipulation, my guy? You looked really good.
I had the same thing cross my mind and I kind of brushed it off because like I was thinking that when Dylan was tweeting being like they fuel the fire, like okay, yeah, maybe you don't have to fuel much fire on the internet these days, my guy.
I just feel like yes.
To be honest, like the producers have better things than to be like on forums being like, here's the screenshot of Jed with his girlfriend dated and like no, other people will do that for them, and that's what happened.
And like okay, so granted,
and she came forward.
That's what I'm saying. So granted, the last episode was a shit show for him, like the after the final rose because of everything. But to be completely honest with you, I recall you and I recapping afterwards being like, damn, production didn't really go in on him. I thought that they were really going to be like, bring out Haley, the ex. Yeah. We were convinced that they were going to bring the ex out, that they were going to air all the dirty laundry, and they really didn't.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, I'm like, actually, you looked good the whole season. And then at the very end, of course, on After the Final Rose, Hannah's going to talk about this because I'm sorry, she has social media and knows everything that's going on. And of course, the producers called her and all that shit. But like, for it to be this whole spilling of the tea of how production made him look bad, I can't even imagine what he would say.
I agree. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I completely agree. You know what's interesting? Yeah. I remember seeing on Hannah's story a few days ago, now I'm wondering if it coincided, where Hannah was like, it's been a 24 hours
Yes,
or whatever.
yes.
Is that what she was related?
100%.
100%.
100%.
Okay, I couldn't remember if the timings overlapped.
But now she's got a guy, and she's
Yeah, it's like, what is, and if I,
But like what is he going to say? So my thought, I had a thought that maybe, I don't know what Dylan was told, but I think that there were two separate things happening. I think Dylan got scared because maybe there was, like you said, that potential opportunity loss, like you guys are hard to work with. And then I think Jed maybe had a situation where all of a sudden someone threw some more receipts his way. Kind of like, oh, you're going to come out and say this? Well, guess what? I'm wondering if Hannah Brown slid into somebody's DMs or text and said, do you really want to go here? Because maybe he does have a little bit of shit, but it's just like, you want to go there? Because let's go toe to toe, my guy.
I didn't even think, like, ugh, you genius. I didn't even think this far. I mean, I could. Did you see that story that she posted? Was that the same time?
Yes, it was the same exact. Yes, okay. It was the day. It was the day.
Then I think that I think you may be right. I want to believe it so bad.
I just have a feeling that if he was going to have this podcast episode where he's like, I'm going to talk about all the manipulation and basically say, if he says, I wasn't cheating on Hannah, I didn't have an ex-girlfriend, what he is, like, I mean, especially if I'm Hannah Brown.
She's making her look bad, for sure.
Exactly. Like, it's making me look like a liar. So I'm going to be like,
oh, what, Hannah? You just listened to, I can just see it now, like, oh, Hannah, you listen to producers, like, over your fiance and just believe everything that, I mean, starts a whole other shit story.
I would just be like, if I was Hannah Brown, I'd be like, and because Becca, can you imagine the DMs and the emails she got with like evidence and stuff about what was going on? And she screenshotted everything because that's what we do. And she, like, if I was Hannah, I would be like, hi, Jed, remember me, your ex-fiance? I'm going to send you a couple pictures, a couple screenshots. You just let me know what you're thinking. Send.
Here's what I'd do. I'd get those screenshots and I'd send them via text and be like, been thinking about you lately.
That was the most evil laugh ever.
Yeah. I mean, bitch, do not play.
I mean,
I know he's gonna look like such a fool. There was already all the receipts, the screenshots of the text. I mean, guys, there was screenshots of the. Do you remember the screenshots of the text messages of him taking off on the goddamn plane?
We had so much Jed evidence.
On the plane being like, babe, miss you. I promise you this will be really quick and my career is going to take off great once I convince her that I'm in love with her. Like,
it's literally, it was written out. Like, we saw it with our own eyes. And so my thing is, again, if this would have been something that was talked about on the show and they like cornered him on the show, that then he could be like, actually, it was producer manipulation because they, whatever. He could make it, I don't know, he could spin it somehow, but they didn't talk about it on the show. How was that producer manipulation? I just can't, there's just nothing I can think of.
Literally, it's just word got back to her and then, I mean, if anything, maybe producers manipulated, like her doing the speech and dumping him, like on the stage.
Sure.
I mean, okay.
I'd be like, You're
lucky that's all it came down to.
And you know what? I'll tell you something. If I found out my fiance had a girlfriend, do you know that there would be no producer that would have to convince me to dump his ass on national television?
The producers would have to hold my arms back because I'd come out swinging.
I'd be like, honey, they'd be like, please, if the producer said, wait, don't break up with him, or wait, don't do that until you're on stage, or there's a camera, I'd be like, no problem,
I'd be like,
sweetheart.
let me at him.
No, I'd be like, no, don't you wait. I'll act like everything's A-okay until all the cameras are on his ass.
Cuts to you. You're like, your eyes twitching. You got like man.
No, honey. You said you wanted pasta for dinner. Just like keeping it in for weeks.
I'm so happy about this journey.
We're doing so well in our engagement. But it's just ridiculous to me. I don't even know. And, you know, I really, really, really hope that for some reason Jed didn't realize that sometimes when you drop a podcast that it takes Apple and Spotify a couple days to approve. And so maybe that's why it's delayed. But I would imagine if that was the case, he would have posted about it on Instagram and said, hey, all, so sorry. I know I made this big announcement about February 2nd.
Is he going to pretend like he never made it?
Yes, just like he pretended that what happened with him and Hannah never happened, and he went on and he tried to do tour right afterwards silently. He's just gonna that's his PR move. Is just
honey,
silence.
why don't you just audition for Listen to Your Heart? Okay, yeah, that's where you belong.
I mean, I
remember that flop of a show like almost a year ago.
I do. You know, it was
Did
so
you know
funny.
they broke up?
I know they broke up. Everyone broke up from that show.
Yeah.
But you know what? Even though it didn't, you know, provide what The Bachelor and Bachelorette provides for me, I do appreciate it, and I'll always have a warm spot for it in my heart, because just like how I feel for Love is Blind, because it did help me, you know, process my way through the early days of this pandemic.
Right up there with Tiger King, you know.
There were a few things that got us through, and that was one of them, you know. Yeah. That was one of them.
Bless.
During the early days.
Wow. Almost
during the early days. I know. Can you believe?
I'm like taken back, like and That's So Raven, back to
Remember
March
how when we were watching Listen to Your Heart via Zoom, and we were like, oh, it's just gonna be a couple weeks and then we'll like get back to business.
2 years later.
It's actually that SpongeBob meme. Like nothing has been more that SpongeBob meme than the quarantine. 7 years later.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't know, fam. It's just, to me, it's a disaster. I think what happened is it's just two men going ham sandwich on social media and getting all sorts of worked up about something.
Looking like damn fools.
And it's like, follow up with your promises. Stop teasing us. You guys are teases, and not in a hot way. In a way that's annoying. I hate it. You know who's not a tease and provides for us always? Is Ben Higgins. Ben Higgins is our Bachelor King. And you know what? You can say a lot about Ben Higgins. But what you can't say about him is when he would never do what Jed did. He would never tease us with a release date and not drop it on that date. He is a faithful king. And we love that about you, Ben. Well, Ben Higgins just dropped his book.
Okay. So okay. Ben, I love you. Can we have him on the podcast just to roast him on this cover? Because, bitch, okay.
I would actually really, 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 really like to have Ben on the podcast.
We should. He'll come on. Of course he will.
Because you know what I think about Ben? When we went on Almost Famous, and he right away was like, what's your problem with me? What I like about Ben is that even though...
He's not afraid to go there.
Yeah. Even though Ben is like, you know, he's just kind of just Ben, and he's just was like the nice guy bachelor, I feel like actually he'll go there. And most people,
I like that about him. Yeah.
And most people tiptoe around it, like they won't go. Ben literally just is like super direct, and is like,
guys, basically backstory. We went on Almost Famous, and literally like he's like, hey Becca, hey Jess, like whatever. 2 minutes in, recording on the podcast. So like, what's your problem with me? I love that.
I loved it too, and we all laughed about it, and it was like. And it was like, you could tell it kind of bugged him, but instead of just like letting it fester, he's just like, hey, why do you have a problem with me? I don't feel like I'm this way, but like you kind of come for me in these ways. Like, what's the deal? And then we told him, and then we kind of continued to roast him a little bit, and he took it. And I love that.
He looks so much like my brother. It's insane.
Does he really?
Yeah. Did you see that photo I posted my brother the other day on my Instagram? Maybe not. I thought you were the one who responded back to it. Anyway, he looks a lot like my big brother. Ben, please come on our podcast. But okay, I just need to talk. I need to talk about this book. Okay, first of all, the title is Alone in Plain Sight. Mm-hmm. Dark, heavy. Hey, he's not afraid to go there. I admire that. The cover It's like, okay, my first thought is like, maybe this is like a memoir about someone's football days. Next thought is, oh shit, this is one of those guys who like used to work on a fishing boat in Alaska and it capsized and him and like 5 other dudes were stuck on a lifeboat and they ended up having to eat one of the dudes who passed away, and they were able to like make it to shore by drinking each other's pee for 3 weeks and like paddling with paddles they made out of like baseball caps strung together with like fishing wire. And then now he's written this book.
Honestly, I am so inspired by whatever book it is that you are creating. I would love to read whatever book that is. See, what I that's such a better description than what I was thinking. I just looked at this and I go, did Ben get kidnapped? Am I unaware that Ben was kidnapped and this is his missing, like this is like the book about Ben, that they've been searching for Ben? Because that was the vibe.
Like, what if he's actually no, even better. What if he's someone else that is actually like hidden his identity all these years and he's like coming forward with the truth? Like his name's not Ben Higgins.
Becca, do you know what this is?
What?
This proves our theory. You know how we've talked about how Ben is the secret love child of Chris Harrison, and Chris is like, I'll give you this position, but you just can't talk about that I'm actually... Listen to the title of this. Alone in Plain Sight, Ben looking dreamy and sad. Underneath it says, searching for connection when you're seen but not known. He's completely Chris Harrison's love child.
He's like, Chris, please acknowledge me as your bastard son.
He's just like, Dad, please tell the world, Dad.
Okay,
You told Lauren the other day. Lauren Zima knows. Tell the world. I am your son.
You know what this book actually is?
What is it actually?
It's actually I think it's the same guy who did Rob Bell's The Heretic cover. Not actually, but
oh my God, it looks
like
exactly
they had
like
similar art creative instruction.
Oh my God, Rob, slide into our DMs. Let us know the creative direction, who did it.
Their names are like in the same font. You need to pull up The Heretic cover.
Oh my God, is Ben Higgins a fan of Rob Bell? There's no way. I don't feel like Ben Higgins is a fan of Rob Bell.
Absolutely.
You think he is?
Why wouldn't he be? That's so Ben.
I feel like Ben is more of the vibe who would maybe consider Rob Bell to be a little more of the heretic energy.
No, you know what? Let's get him on the fucking show and talk about it.
Let's talk about Ben's beliefs. Let's get him on the show.
I called it, bitch. Following Rob Bell on Instagram.
No, stop.
Yup.
He follows Rob?
Yeah. I know. See, me and Ben, I get, we're on the same wavelength.
You see Ben. Oh my God.
Wait a second. Him. I do see him.
Becca,
and you know what? He knows that I see him. That's why Ben's like, we got beef. And I'm like, no, I just see you, bitch.
Okay,
and
question.
You see me and you see me. I feel seen by, I have to say, when Ben talks about me, I feel seen. I think we get each other.
You know what? I see that. You two you guys have kind of like, you guys have a speaking of the fact that he looks like your brother, when you guys do speak, it has a little bit of a brother-sister energy.
Yeah, and maybe it's just like two roads diverged, like, and I took the one less traveled on. And that has made all the difference. Oh man. Wow.
Wait, okay, Becca, do you think that there's any world that we live in that we could somehow have a podcast with Rob Bell and Ben Higgins, all the four of us together?
You know, that definitely crossed my mind like 2 minutes ago when I saw that he was following him.
I bet we could do a podcast with the four of us. That would actually be kind of
great.
That would kind of be everything. Because I know I would just be so interested. You know what would end up happening is Rob Bell would like interview Ben, but in the way that Rob Bell does, where you walk into a room. Okay, this is just a side tea note about Rob Bell broads, because you obviously didn't see behind the scenes, but both times when Rob Bell has come to our home to record, he walks in and he's just like a very gentle spirit. Like, but every time he has walked into my home, he sees Evan and he does like, Rob Bell has this energy where like, he doesn't say like he looks at Evan and Evan's kind of like doing his own thing. And then Evan kind of turns and looks at him and Rob goes like, you doing okay, guy? And like, And then like Evan will just like melt in the palm of his hand and be like, I don't know, I've been struggling with this, and this. And Rob will sit for like an hour and be like, tell me about like your upbringing and like explain like how do you feel? And Evan's just like,
let's work through some of Ben's issues.
yes,
Let's
I
get
feel like
the-
Rob would do that with Ben.
Okay,
Rob
wait.
would just be like, tell me everything.
No, I found the picture of my brother, so you can see. I'll show the camera too. It's actually kind of crazy.
Oh, whoa.
He looks like just a rounder faced Ben. Camera. Here's
Yeah,
my brother,
I
who
remember
kinda
the
looks
photo.
like
I didn't
Ben.
think about Ben, but yes, your brother is very cute.
He just looks like Ben when they both do that face. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, your brother's super cute. Send him some of my love.
I won't. Actually, Ben's looking kind of fuller faced some of these days. You know, he's getting older. So, anyway, so yeah.
Anyway.
so we're having Ben on the podcast. Hope he listens to this. Hope you guys are sliding his DMs and be like, the broads want you on. That way, we don't have to do any of the work. We don't have to email him, DM him, nothing.
Even though
It makes life a lot easier. So feel free to slide in his
Ben,
DMs.
Sweet Ben definitely would. But like,
Also, guys, slide in for Grayston. Grayston really wants Ari on the Patreon. So broads out there, even if you're not subscribed to our Patreon, you know, like
wait.
comment out here and there.
Okay,
DM
if
Ari.
you
Gray,
guys
like
know-
Gray, seriously, like I don't even have to be on it. Like Gray wants to talk to Ari so bad after watching it. Gray is an Ari stan so far. We haven't gotten through the season.
Okay, I'm gonna be real though. Love you too, but if you guys get fucking Ari on your Patreon and he doesn't sit between us, I will rage because I have begged for Ari and you refuse.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And this is what I'm saying. I am sure as hell not reaching out. But if Gray wants to have it, Gray literally wants to do an interview with him.
Then
I don't want to talk to him.
Then all I am asking is if you guys do it, then when Gray is interviewing, that I'm allowed to be in the room because I need.
Absolutely.
Because
I mean, we can air if look. If we can air it on here, well, I don't know. We'll give you a cut on the paywall if you. Gray is like, I mean, Gray is simping so hard for Ari.
Really?
Gray's like, I see Ari. I get why he's making the decisions he's making. Like, I understand him. Like, as a person. Like, Gray actually feels like a connection. Like, he feels like he is like Ari.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
You know what? I do have to say that I did. Everyone gave Ari a hard time. I did like Ari on your season.
Yeah, sure.
Now I have other feelings in
Yeah, you
recent
do have
days.
other feelings?
And now I have a very different opinion about Ari, which is, you know, I think that was what, like maybe a year ago, I was like, I really want to get Ari and Lauren on the podcast. And it was just like, I get that there's probably going to be a little awkward, whatever. Hey,
Yeah,
Becca,
look,
no worries.
I can't reach out and do
Yeah,
that.
I
I
was
mean,
just
I can't do it. I still can't do it. I mean, I
But-
could DM him and be like, Gray wants you on the Patreon, but I can't do that, you guys. My anxiety is way too high for that.
Yeah. Well, broads, I mean, I feel like there's still more
whatever.
tea.
We can cover it. We can cover it when we cover it.
We'll cover it on the upcoming episodes. Also, just so you all know, as a heads up for next week, there is a chance. We still aren't 100% sure about the schedule, but it's our Queen Becca's birthday. And
I'm trying to unplug y'all. I'm trying to do some days of like a few days of just like not being on my phone.
trying to have a moment of peace on your birthday. So there is a chance that next week, our Tuesday episode might be an episode that is pre-recorded, all about relationships. You all sent in some amazing Q&A questions, and we're going to be doing that. That episode will either drop on Tuesday or Thursday. There's a chance that we'll have our Bachelor recap episode drop on Thursday instead of Tuesday, so it might be a little bit different. So be patient with us. We appreciate it. We'll still have the recap drop. We'll still have the 2 episodes next week, but it just might be in different order. We'll see. But, you know, you got to give the queen her birthday.
Yeah. Move aside, Victoria. I'm the queen now. I mean, my real birthday's on Wednesday, but I don't know. I just need some time off, y'all. So with peace and love, if I can avoid staying up till like too late to be talking about The Bachelor on Monday night, I'd like to avoid it. So
Yes.
we're gonna see if we can pull some strings, figure out some stuff. But
We're gonna try, but either
Chance
way,
we're shaking up the schedule next week.
both episodes, we're gonna have the 2 episodes per usual. They just might be swapped.
Yep.
So
anyway, with that, thanks for tuning in to this interesting episode.
We love you, broads, and chat soon.